All right, third graders. So now it's time for area model and kind of the concept of behind it. So we have already kind of touched base on area right before right before spring break happened and COVID-19 and all that fun stuff. So we already kind of understand what area is. So now this is just another model, or also just to give you an extra resource to use during your practice for area concept. So area. Area is the measure of space inside a shape. So it could be any rectangle, triangle, any kind of shape. We're going to find the measure of that space inside that shape. So it would be like, I'm just going to take this right off my wall because I think this is perfect. So here I have a rectangle, right? Or a square. And so the area is the space inside the shape. So what is the area of the stuff inside the shape? So we're going to practice now. I'm going to put that up gently. Hopefully it doesn't fall because that would be craziness if it did. Okay. So the very first thing I want us to get back to is, what was the equation of area when we first started this? Well, the equation of area that we really worked on was length times or multiplied by the width of the shape. So now I'm just going to do a couple quick problems to help you and help guide your thinking during this practice. So the first shape, we're just going to start off something easy because we know that the area is the measure of the space inside the shape, and we know our equation is going to be length multiplied by the width. So we're going to just use that tool that we already have of that multiplying skill. So the shape I'm just going to start off with, super easy, is just going to be this rectangle. So I have this rectangle here. So this is my length side right here. So this is my length. I'm just going to say length. And then on this side, this is my width. So length times width. So now I'm just going to plug in numbers, and I'm just going to show you the quick way. So sometimes they're going to have the numbers on the outside for you, and sometimes they're not going to have numbers. But we're just going to start with the basic foundation. So the numbers on the outside, I'm going to say my width is going to be 2 inches. My length, I'm going to say, is going to be 7 inches. So now for my equation, I'm going to just write it out so I can see it. So my length is 7 multiplied by my width of 2 inches. So there's my equation for my area. So I have my length, which is 7 inches, multiplied by my width, which is 2 inches. So now I just multiply that. 7 times 2 is, I hope you're saying it, 14 square inches. Important part of this is making sure that you have your labels correct. So since I use the unit inches, and I know there's squares inside there, then it's going to be square inches. Okay, so that is one way how you can solve. If you have the width and the length, then you can solve it just easy peasy like that. The difficult part is when they don't give you a side and they give you the area. So let's pretend if I give you the area. So let me just do another one. So I'm going to do a square. So on my square, I'm just going to give the area in one side of the square. So my area of my square is going to be, I'm going to do 20 square inches. So I'm going to say area equals 20 square inches. Okay, so I know my area is 20 square inches. And I know a square has all equal sides, right? So a square has all equal sides. It's not like a rectangle, where a rectangle has short ends and long ends. But a square is equal on all sides. So I know that there's 4 sides, and I know that my area is 20. So if I just do this, and we're going to use division. So if I just go my area, which is 20, and then I know that I'm going to have to divide to solve for what these sides are, that missing link. I know that there's 4 sides in a square. So I'm just going to go 20 divided by 4. So if I need help using my extra strategies, I'm just going to show you real fast what strategy I could use. I could use equal groups. So I'm just going to use equal groups. So if I have 4 groups and I need to break apart this 20, then I'm going to do that. So I'm going to break apart my 20. So I'm going to go 1. I'm going to give 1 to each group until I run out of dots. So there's my first dot. Dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, I ran out of all my dots and I gave each group 1. So now let's count to see if we have an equal number in each group. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 in this one. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So I have an equal number in each group. Okay, so now what is this side? What is the measurement of each side of this? Easy peasy, right? 5. So I know it's 5 inches. So I know each side is going to be 5 inches because 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. Or I could even write it this way. 5 times 4 equals 20. So that tells me that each side of my square is going to be 5 inches. Okay, the last way that I really want to show and model for you today is going to be the way that your practice is going to kind of be laid out. And it's going to be a little bit difficult because they use kind of irregular shapes. So I'm just going to draw an irregular shape and show you how you can do it. So you can either count the tiles inside or you can break the irregular shape up. Oops. So here's my irregular rectangle or my irregular shape. Okay. So in some cases, they are going to already have some numbers in place. So I'm going to put a 2 here, 2 inches. I'm going to put a 4 here, 4 inches. And then my next one I'm going to do is, I think in here I'm going to make 5, 5. Okay, so in some cases, oh, I forgot my top. My top part is going to be, we're going to say 16. We're going to see how this works out. Okay, so now if I have this irregular shape, the first step I'm going to have to do is break it apart or put lines in it so then I can be able to solve each area of this entire shape. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm honestly just going to extend this line. So I'm going to extend, I'm going to get a different color so you can see how I break it apart. So I'm going to extend this line right right here. So then I have this square, or this rough rectangle. Ms. V is not being very good at drawing today. Okay, so now I have that square. I'm going to also extend this. So then I have this shape blocked off also. So the first thing I'm going to do is solve for this shape right here. So I have my numbers right here. So I have 4 and I have a 5 right here. So I'm just going to go 4 times 5 is 20. So I know that inside is 20 square inches. Same thing here. I'm going to break apart this one. So I know that there's a 5 and a 2 here. So 5 times 2 is 10 square inches. Okay, so now all that's left for me is to solve this space right here. So I know I have 16 here. I know that this is 5 inches. Same thing, 5 inches. And I know, I'm going to just make up a number. I know my total here is going to be 10, let's say 10 inches. So I know my whole line right here is 10 inches, but I know half of this is 5 right here. So what is this other half? So the other half from here to here is also 5 inches, okay? So 16 times 5. Whoa, that's a big number. But that's okay because we're going to just break apart the 16 to make it easier for us to figure it out. So there's one of two ways. We can skip count all the way to 16 by 5s, or we can do repeated addition of how we're just going to go 16 plus 16 plus 16 5 times. So I'm actually going to do it that way. So 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16. So I know 2 16s equals 32. 2 16s equal 32. So then plus 16 plus 32. So now I got to solve for 32 plus 32. I'm just going to stack them on top. So I'm going to say 32 plus 32. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 3 is 6. Okay, so I already used this 32. I used this 32. Now I have to use this 16. So I'm just going to put it right underneath my 64. So 6 plus 4 is 10. Carry the 1. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus another 1 is 8. So I know up here is 80 square inches. Now guess what's left? What's left is, now that we broke it apart individually and solved our area for each piece inside, now we have to add up all together, all of our pieces together to figure out, okay? So now I'm going to take my different colored marker. So I'm going to take my first number, 80 plus this 20. I know that 80 plus 20 equals 100 because 8 plus 2 is 10. And then I just have to add the extra 0. So I know that's 100. And then I have to add in the 10. So 100 plus 10 equals 110 square inches. So my area of this irregular shape is 110 square inches. Can you believe that? I can't. That's craziness. Okay. So far I kind of modeled how to use our equation length times width to figure out our area of the measurement of inside each shape. So now you're going to do this on your own, and you're going to practice, and you're going to work through. Remember, you can use the tiles to count, or you can figure out this. But making sure that you find your width and your length is going to be the most important part while doing this. Okay? Good luck, third graders. Keep up the good work.